29.
28.
27.
26. 25.
24.
23.
22. 21.
20.
19.
18.
17.
16.
15.
14.
13. 12.
11.
10.
8.
6.
6. What happened to 7?
7.
5.
4.
3.
2. 1.
0.
You guys can't hear me, can you? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Please tell me if you can hear me. I think there's something going on with my echo. I don't know why that. Okay, cool. Whew. So I know that Bearded Doom is not a new member. Why does it say there's only 2 people here? Why is there only 2 people here? I'm not going to talk to you guys until there's at least 10 people here. Just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Hey, check it out. We're going to look at all the cool stuff that came back from California Customs Show with me here in a little bit. And keep in mind, only one item that you're about to see, that you're going to see later, belongs to me. But no, we went to California Customs Show. I am tired. So if any of you is like, oh, did you have fun at the show? Motherfucker, I worked at the show. Going to a knife show and filming is work. It's 100% work. I didn't finish editing first night till like Friday Night Blade Affair is something different. So if you haven't ever been to California Custom Show or any of the Recon One shows, the way it works is the show is Saturday, Sunday, and Friday night is kind of different. You can go in and you can pick up really, really expensive knives. You get to meet makers that normally you wouldn't get to meet. Like there's some guys that just show up just for Friday Night Blade. Todd Rexford, some of the other guys, Michael Raymond, they only show up just for the first what do you want to call it? That first night, that Friday Night Blade Affair, and then they bounce because like they're not gonna run a table. Todd Rexford made his money that night. Todd probably made. Sorry, I forgot to turn these on. Todd Rexford probably made $20,000 or $30,000. Michael Raymond made at least 40 or 50 first night. So where the fuck is everyone? I've honestly not like I'm rage quitting or anything. I've honestly thought about stopping doing Monday live feeds because there's just never anyone here. There's 8 people here. So I don't know if notifications aren't going out or what. There's been some weird stuff going on YouTube. People are saying they're not getting views. I've seen it. Viewing has dropped off dramatically over the last couple months. I know. I'm not talking about I just said there's 9 people here. I fucking know you're here. If you're chatting, I'm not talking. I'm not talking to you people that are making comments. Just keep that in mind. This is just an internal. When I say where is everyone, I mean where the fuck is everyone else, clown? It's fucking really good use of a name for you. Anyway, Sharif's here, Mr. Sharif Manganis. Sharif, somebody told me that you look like the actual person that Tom Cruise dressed up like in that Tropic Thunder. They're like that guy in Tropic Thunder, the one with fucking Jack Black and all those guys. The character Tom Cruise played. There's like Sharif Manganis looks like that guy in person. I was like, what the fuck? That's fucked up. It's funny, but it's fucked up. No, I brought a bunch of stuff back to show. Keep in mind, none of the stuff except for one item is mine. So I'll show you what I got at the show. And it is only because the maker and I are good friends, and he's a great, lovable old dude. And I told him, I was like, bro, I want to get one of your knives eventually. And he goes, well, get this one. And I was like, I can't afford anything. And he told me, he's like, well, for you, here's the price. And I was like, that feels like robbery. I'll be right back. So that is a Melvin Watanabe full custom hollow ground fixed blade with a tapered tang. And I believe he said koa wood or snake wood. I can't remember. And the price he quoted me, I couldn't pass it up. And he goes, for you, here's the price. And I know for a fact that was $500 less than he was charging anyone else. So yeah, great dude. Melvin Watanabe out of Hawaii. Tom Mayo taught him how to make knives. He's one of Tom Mayo's proteges, as is Ed Cope. This thing's really great. And he's like, it doesn't have a sheath. He sounds like Yoda. I love the old dude. He sounds like Yoda. He's like, it doesn't have a sheath. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can find a sheath. So he packed it up for me. And you guys ready for this? I'm going to tell you what I paid for that. I kept it a secret from everyone. He looked at me and he was like, for you, 150. And I was like, I'm fucking coming right back. I'll be right back, Melvin. I'll be right back. I hung out with Tom Mayo the entire show. There was a couple people who asked me, what's your favorite part of the show? And they're like, fucking Mike Emler and Tom Mayo, just walking around being Mike Emler and Tom Mayo. Did not feel like staying around, at least. Oh, hey, I missed a. Let's see here. What can I get So, coming to the podium to talk to us about cowbell is Aiden. So, tomorrow, I had someone send me a message that said, have fun with CCKS. And I texted him back and I was like, it's CCKS, California Custom Knife Show, CCKS, is one letter away from that being a really odd text message. Have fun with Cox. So, but that's what I brought back. And, at that price point, to have a handmade custom by someone I like, someone I enjoy their presence, someone I like being around. It's kind of fun. I always I told somebody this, like, how can we not film it? And I was like, because I'm on a mission. I have to find Melvin Watanabe. I didn't see him in the lobby in his chair. They told me he was here. And so I was like, there's two things I have to do. I have to find Tom Mayo. I have to find Melvin Watanabe. And I have to find if Tim Reeves at the show. And so those three things have to happen. And me, Tom Mayo, and Melvin Watanabe were like the three amigos. I was trying to film at a table. Tom Mayo came up, hit me in the dick with a fucking $1,000 sheet of Timascus. Just popped me in it. I was like, oh, Jesus. So, are you not feeling good? Do you not feel like staying? She didn't say she didn't feel good. She said she didn't feel like staying. There's a difference. A lot of times, halfway through a live feed, don't feel like staying, to tell you the truth. What? Cox, where is everyone? 8 minutes, 9 minutes in this, and only 13 people here? Shit, I talked to more people at one table. I did get to sit and talk with Dmitry Sinkovich for like 30 minutes. He was like, you do the sharpening like this? I was like, yeah. We were talking about sharpening. He's like, I do it too with a stone in the hand. I was like, this is fucking... You want a jealous moment in your life? There were a lot of very, very rich people at Friday Night Blade Affair. And I was sitting at a table talking with Dmitry Sinkovich about sharpening. And he was completely ignoring the incredibly rich people at the table. We were just talking about knives and knife sharpening and convex edges. And he was like, I was like, this is a moment in your life that you're always going to remember. How many of you guys have ever got to even see a picture of Dmitry Sinkovich? I had to sit with that dude, talk for like 30 minutes. Did I hear Sanford say he lets you borrow something? Sanford didn't say it. I said it. The Slayback and the CDP 189. So Sanford didn't say anything. I said it. This is a great knife. It's been in my pocket since we came back. If people are just gonna leave, I'm not lying. I am tired enough that I'm not gonna run a live feed for like 12 people. I'm not trying to rage quit. I'm not trying to be like what's his name? Darkside Phil. I'm just seriously not gonna sit here and run a live feed for like 12, 15 people. So I'm literally I still have got a ton of things to do. I have not stopped since Tuesday last week. Because I filmed and everything. I'm not gonna lie. The last 10 minutes of my drive home was an exercise in me just fighting to keep my eyes open because traffic was slow. I like, what was that? Got the XL Slayback. Thing's nice. Yeah, I love this. This thing's great. I got to find out from Sanford. Like, I didn't really. It was really crowded and really busy, and I was like, I don't think. Like, I don't, my thing is, if he needs this back, absolutely needs it back, I can't do all the things that I want to do with it. Because I really, really want to tear into this and see how it cuts and all kinds of stuff like that. But if he doesn't, or if he'll take it back and refinish it, then that's fine. Like, oh, do you want to refinish it? But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that came back. Let's see how many people are here. I'm not going to start digging into this and then just have like 20 or 30 people show up later. So, but yeah, there's a lot of people at the show. I got to see not Todd. I got to see Tim Reeve. I saw Nico and a new guy named Tomas from Bastinelli. I talked with Mick Strider a lot the night of the Friday Night Blade Affair. We didn't get to film. I'm going to tell you guys right now, there are a couple tables just never going to get to film at. Tracker Dan could not pin down a moment where it was not just slam, which I don't understand. Dan's a great dude. I got to talk to him for a few minutes this year. He's a great dude. Just ugly knives. There's a couple places just always slammed. Strider knives, I could not even get over to their table to talk to them. I couldn't. I just absolutely couldn't. Sebastian didn't come. Who else? The Koenig table was always busy, but I did get to talk with Bill a little bit. Tim, I talked with Tim. But there's just some tables you just can't even film. There's just no fucking way. There's just no way you can film at some of those tables. So yeah, but I brought a couple things back. I hung out with Bob Terzuola. I should say it was like me. When I say it was a 3-me, I was always hanging out with Tom Mayo and Melvin Watanabe and myself, but Bob Terzuola was there. So I was hanging out with Bob and his wife too. Bob's wife, Sue, photobombed me in a couple segments. I got to handle the mini areas, but I didn't ask him about it. But there was not anything. I don't know. I heard Koenig's had a lot still sitting on the tables. No, he didn't. He really didn't. They had a couple things, like maybe auction stuff at first, but like there was nothing on the table the second day. They sold out. Artisan still had a bunch of stuff on the table. It's hit or miss. Sebastian sometimes goes and sometimes he doesn't. It's not Sebastian. It's Bastian. Bastian. There's no S. It's just Bastian. What's happening with the screen? So yeah, I mean, but the cool stuff, like Nico got a bunch of stuff. You guys want to see it? Fuck it, I'll do it. There's like 18 people here. So this is people's handwriting is horrible. So I guess this is the Slim Sewed by Corbin Steelworks. Why is that so bad? Hang on, I gotta adjust something. Something needs adjusted. Virtual background. There we go. That's better. That's where it needs to be. 48. So that is the Slim Sewed by Corbin Steelworks came in a really, really cool case. Oh, there's some green on there. But that's what the case looks like. I'm not such a big fan on this, but this is done in Magna Cut, Lava Dark Tie, Clip and Spacers, Zerk Pivot, and Studs. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And it is dangerously drop shut. Like hazardously. So Zerk Pivot, Zerk Thumb Studs, Lava Dark Tie, Clip and Spacer, and then Magna Cut Blade. I'm not as big a fan as some of the other ones I saw on their table, but like it is. Listen to this. Let's listen to it in an echo chamber. So there's that one. I'm going to save the one I like the best for last. Guys, if you're leaving, you're going to miss this shit. 15 people here. Stick around. I'm trying to show you guys cool stuff. Fuck. Can't stick around long enough to see the knives? Holy crap. 17 people. How many likes? I can't see the likes. I bet there's 9. There's 17 people there. I bet I got 9 likes. Betcha. 9 likes, 17 viewers, 9 likes. This. So let me tell you a story about this one. Oh, shit. You're not going to be able to see that. That is not coming out. God damn it. Hang on. Let me see if I can. I've got to adjust the fade on this virtual background so that you guys can see it. We'll fade it all the way out. We'll just get rid of the background for right now. So this is what it actually looks like, in case you guys wondered. Just a sheet. So this, at one point, he's got to dress up like Golem. That was loud. So at any rate, this is a Jeremy Marsh prototype Whisper in Westinghouse micarta. What is this? What is it? Westinghouse micarta and titanium. But at any rate, so Nico, so if your wives are watching, I'm going to give you like a few seconds to spirit them away so that I don't lift the veil on the mystery that is Knife Show Auctions. So if you win an auction at a knife show, you don't actually win the knife. Hang on, it's Zerk. I'm sorry, it's Zerk and Westinghouse Zerk thumb studs 154 cm blade. So it's not a real big knife. But at any rate, Nico won this knife. And when I see you win it, so have you gotten your wives out of the room? There was a bunch of people like, no, I'm fucking leaving. I can't have this on. So the way it works is you go and on your name tag is a number for table lotteries. And they just pull up 5 numbers and they assign them to a sheet. Top number gets first bid. If that person doesn't want it, after 30 minutes, it goes to the next person. The first one's 30 minutes. Every 15 minutes after that, they pick another line. And if somebody wants it, then they pay the table price. So this was $1,900. It's a $1,900 knife. And it is gorgeous. Jeremy is a great dude. He's probably going to be on the channel. But at any rate, I had went over and picked this up earlier and was messing with it. And I was like, that is freaking gorgeous. And when I picked it up and I opened it, I was like, oh, because the detent on it is it for a thumb roller. It's got, listen to it. Just that tiny little tink, and then it just rolls right open. And it's got those thumb studs flip. You know, you can thumb flip it. You can reverse flick it, but it's got these really cool thumb studs. And so I picked it up and I was like, oh man. And then I came back around and I saw Nico's number was on it. And he walked up and he was talking, if I get a Marsh, I could flip it. And I was like, absolutely, you could flip it at the show. Like you could make that money back. And I was like, you haven't fucked with that knife yet, right? He was like, no. And I was like, if you're going to buy that knife to sell it, don't. And as I said it, he picked it up and opened it and went, oh, and I was like, yeah, you're not getting rid of that one. What that clip do though? I don't, yeah, it's just Zerk and a Zerk backspacer and a cracked ice finish on the liners, blue titanium liners. But yeah, it is so effortless. And that is, like I said, that's that Westinghouse micarta. So it's antique Westinghouse micarta. 154 cm blade comes down. It's beautiful. Such a good knife. Beautiful knife. I talked with Jeremy for a while. He's going to be on the show. But yeah, so there's the Marsh. Then Chucklehead on Sunday's like, hey, should I pick up this Koenig Arius? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe. What was that sound? So he picks up this Koenig Arius special for the show. I'm not going to show you price on this because if he sells it, that's not going to be the price. And whoever sees it, well, I saw how much you paid for it. Well, that's great. So this is 20 CV bright washed with, I'm not sure what the PF stands for. It's handle is 6AL4V titanium with smooth woven copper CF. And this is October. This thing is beautiful. But it still does have that same issue where I feel like I'm pushed in on it. This one that doesn't feel as bad. This thing is stupid light. Stupid light. So when I'm done with these, he's probably going to get, God, that is sharp. Bill has definitely improved his edges. That is ridiculous. So 20 CV, deep hollow. This one is good. It's super light. Listen to this. Echo. This is amazing. Oh, Mock Clown, how cute. How cute. So cute that you think that that's what that's worth. 500. Bill wouldn't have even got out of bed for $500 for that knife. No, it's not. Don't lie. Don't like fucking make it. Bill, like $500. Bill wouldn't even come to the show with that knife if it was $500. He'd be like, "Fuck it, that's less than I spend on. That's less than my other knives go for." This one, there's a bit of a conflict. So Nico and I are pretty sure this knife isn't going anywhere, but we're not sure whose house it's going to stay at or what part of my anatomy I have to sell to pay him back the amount for this. This I won't mod clones. I'll barely sharpen clones. I won't fucking, like, if you send me a clone to mod it, I'll send it back to you. I won't even refinish it. Check this out. This is a Terzuola with zebra stripe carbon fiber, fiberglass twill, silver fiberglass twill, feather stainless steel Damascus with a faux dagger grind. And I've got goosebumps on my ball sack. So I just have to figure out what I have to sell to be able to pay. I just have to figure out what I have to sell to pay Nico for this. Because this was by far the most expensive purchase that was made at the show. And I'm not going to tell you guys how much it was. It's silver quill G10 bolsters, zebra stripe carbon fiber scale, stainless steel feather Damascus blade, the feather blade dagger. Hobbit got a pimp mic out. I don't think so. But yeah, this was of all the stuff. Like this was. Now I can't honestly say that though, because the fact that Melvin fucking sold me that knife for like that's a $600-700 knife. Melvin doesn't come all the way from Hawaii to California to sell a knife for $150. He doesn't. We're just friends. Hey, I was telling everybody like there was a couple people who were talking about like the highlight of the show was just me and Tom Mayo walking around being me and Tom Mayo. Nico, did you hear those guys talking about that? Like, did you see Mike Emler and Tom Mayo like walking around just being them? Grumpy old bastard. I was walking. There were some guys. I'm gonna get the green screen set back up. There was some guys that were like, I was talking with Tom and we're like, bro, are you and Tom like friends like that? And I was like, kinda. Like me and Tom get along pretty well. Because at one point Tom was in the lobby and Tom hurt his shoulder. Tom hurt his shoulder here a couple months ago, skiing, snow skiing. He went on vacation, went skiing, and I'm like, Tom, you're like 100 years old. What the fuck are you doing skiing? He goes, fuck you. And so at any rate, so Tom hurt himself skiing, so he's carrying what do you mean it's buffering? Well, it's buffer. It must be buffering on your side. Because I absolutely do not have any indications on my side. But so at any rate, Tom is walking out towards the lobby, going to his room. And he's got all this stuff in his hands. He's got a big wood display case that he bought over at Plaza Cutlery. And he's got a bag, and he's got the 2 pieces of Damascus that he hit me in the dick with earlier. And he's got all that stuff, and he's trying to carry it. And I was like, I was hollered across the little area outside of the little convention room that we were in. I was like, Tom, you good? And he's and I was like, all right, fine, carry yourself, you grumpy old bastard. And everybody's like, the fuck are you talking to Tom Mayo like that? And I was like, what? It's just Tom. Like everybody's like, oh, famous knife makers. And I'm like, they're just knife makers, and half of them are fucking vagrants. What was it? I was telling somebody, I was like, what? Like, fucking, so what? He's a knife maker. It's no different than, like, they're all fucked up in the head. Half of them are drunks. So, yeah, we had a good time. I'll tell you what, out of all the stuff that came back with me, I told Nico this. I thought I lost it. Tom Mayo gave me a little challenge coin. It's just a bullshit. It doesn't say Tom Mayo or anything. Tom Mayo gave me a little copper challenge coin. I'll get it in a second. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it anywhere. And that was the out of all the things that came back from that show with me, the Terzuola. I mean, maybe not this so much. Well, this I paid for, kind of. Wasn't like I paid very much for it. But out of all the things that came back from the show, Tom gave that to me, and I couldn't find it. I thought I lost it. It had fallen out of my bag and was in the parking space. It's still in its little plastic case. It was laying on the ground behind my car when I brought my kid back from school, and I saw it, and I was like, "There it is!" Like I thought I lost it, and out of all the things that came to my house from the show, that was the most important one. Just some bullshit little fucking. I'll grab it. Hang on a second. I'll show you exactly what it is. It's my Tom Mayo coin. But Tom likes to act like a grumpy old bastard, but he really isn't. I mean, he is grumpy, but he's a sweet old dude. I love that dude so much. Like he's getting older, and I dread the day that I show up to the show and he's not there. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was just a little copper challenge coin. That's it. Share stream. Oh, because I got you. Yeah, I gotta get this off to Randall Mackey for a sheath. Guys, this thing is Nico can tell you. This thing is, listen to this. I'm gonna pick my finger off of the edge of this knife. Just, you guys can hear how thin this is. You ready? That is simply me. That is, and it is so violently sharp. It just disappears. There is nothing. It is ridiculous. Violently sharp. Check it out in an echo chamber. Is it teen? Is it teen? That's a Gavco, a Mike Gavick thing. But it must be teen to cut, which is true. The edge, the geometry. This doesn't even really need an edge. This thing is so thin behind the edge. Where's my calipers? We're gonna do a caliper test, but this thing, like it's nothing complex. I think he said the steel is 154 cm. I think it's a 154 blade. He likes that. The only issue I see with this is you can see one of the pins for the bolster. So it is so thin. Let me go get my calipers. Well, you can't have it because this is never going anywhere. I'm gonna get my calipers and I'll tell you how thin it is. Let me get my calipers out. Oh shit. I kicked the microphone. All right, I'm coming. Jesus, I kicked the bell. What the fuck? Back to the chair stream. I didn't plan on doing this. Let's turn this on, zero it. So behind the edge thickness on this. Oh my God, guys. Let me see here. Try not to scratch. .008. 0.008. Allow me to say that again. That's that much. I had to measure it three times to make sure it was right. 0.00. It is that much. Can you see the gap in that? 0.008. I've done 0.009 before. That is ridiculous. That can't be right. Let me zero it. Okay, yeah. 0.009. My calipers were not quite zeroed. How do you sharpen it? I'm not going to use it. It's never going to get sharpened. That's never going to get anything. 0.009. The calipers were off just ever so slightly. You can't even find the edge. Like you can't even see it. So I mean, it's close. It's close, Parker. It's close to that point 008, that 8 thou. It is ridiculous, but it's got a beautiful distal taper. Turn off the green screen to show the edge. I can do that, I suppose. I still don't think you're gonna be able to see it. I don't think you're gonna be able to see it at all. Turn off the green screen. I mean, you can't see it. It doesn't exist. You're seeing, that's the spine. That reflection you're seeing is the reflection of the spine. That's not the actual, because it's hollow ground. So like it just doesn't exist. It's a full hollow. So I don't, here's the thing. I like Tom, but I don't like the Dr. Death. I like Tom's knives. I'm not as big a fan of Tom's knives as I am just of Tom in general. You know what I mean? Like I just like Tom. There's some people at the show, I don't like their knives at all. And I still talk to them. Like, I don't like the Koenig Arius so much. I told Bill that. Like, it's not I don't like it. I just don't like the way it feels in my hand. He absolutely agrees that, like, it's not for everyone's hands. There's people at this show that I really, really like, but I don't have to like their knives. Like, I love Tom Mayo. Like, that dude is an awesome, amazing person. He's really, really good. If you can get past the initial impression, which is that he's just a fucking prick. He's not. He just acts like that. If you can get past that initially, probably one of the greatest dudes you'd ever want to meet in your life. It's because we're all introverts. We don't fucking like people, and we hate being around people, and that's how you act like a complete prick. People don't want to be around you, and you're like, cool, crisis averted. Then you do a YouTube channel like this. You go to a movie. You go to a fucking live. You go to an in-person meetup, like a knife show, and fucking half the people there. There was people who were like, you were like the unofficial mayor of the fucking knife community. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you talk with every. Hey, buddy. I was on. I did a little segment on Old Boy's channel here. Go check out Watch and Cut. If one of my moderators could find it, go ahead and bring up a link to his channel so y'all can go follow it. But I just don't understand. You know what? I was talking with Cole about this. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, I just can't get people to come to live feeds. I get like 30. I don't know whether YouTube is just not. If YouTube's just not like, oh, fuck that guy's live feeds, we're not doing it, and recommending them. I don't know. You like this coffee cup? I do too. What do you guys got it for me? But yeah, a lot of times knife makers just act like that so that they don't have to interact with people. Then you got people like me that recognize it, like, oh, I can hang out with this guy. He does the exact same thing I do. He acts like an asshole. And then you just go over it and he realizes, like, oh, he saw through my veil. Now I have to interact. And then you talk to him for a little bit. The next thing you know, Tom Mayo's coming up and hitting you in a dick with a piece of Damascus. So what else happened at the show? There was a lot of fun stuff that happened at the show. I hung out with Tim Reeve. Hung out with Tim Reeve for a good bit. I hung out with, like I said, sitting talking with Dmitry Sinkovich about sharpening. Like, there were people, like, I'm just standing there, like, I was just there, and me and Dmitry were just talking for like 30 minutes about sharpening and shit. And everybody was like, what the fuck? Do they know each other? And like, nope. Not a bit. Was it Parker? Parker was saying what? There are a lot of bad knives at CCKS. No, there weren't. There weren't. There was only a couple of them, and they were all on Emerson's table. Guys, all joking aside, like I know that the Emerson fanboys are gonna fucking shit a brick. The yeah, that's how you're supposed to open a Spenza. Like I see these people wrist flicking a Spenza. I was like, I saw people wrist flicking like $2,000 and $3,000 knives. I was like, put that knife down, or I'm gonna break your fucking arm. But the only ones, okay, so I always bag on it. I'm like, how do you know get a real Emerson? Because it feels like somebody put it together with their feet in the dark in a dirt parking lot. They put a knife out on their table for like $1,900 fucking dollars that had a shredded washer. Like, how do you not see that? And people are like, I would like the person that got it. I was like, I would have fucking taken it right up. I would have taken it right up there and shoved it right up under his little nose. But like, look here, you little fuck. I want my money back, or I want this fixed now. So, yeah, I know, you know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And then there were people that complained how much I charged for knives that I made. And guess what? My shit came with a usable edge, well ground, centered. It wasn't like ground crooked, good handles, hard work put into it. People, I can't pay that much. But guess what? Fuck you then. You don't need it. Fuck. Now I'm angry again. I was so mad about that. And Ernie had already left his table and wasn't there. I was like, mother. I would have like, give me that knife. Give me that knife. I'm going to take that right over there. Like, what the fuck is this shit? This is you dialing this shit in. To tell you the truth. I don't think Ernie makes those knives anymore. I think even the Ernie Emerson Customs, I don't think Ernie's making those anymore, because if Ernie, knowing what I know about Ernie and knowing Ernie as a person, Ernie would not have let that knife make it on the table if he had had anything to do with it. Like, he would have noticed that. I'm just surprised he didn't notice what was going up on his table. Oh, we're going to do that after. I don't know how long we're going to run this live feed. There's only like 26 people here. I need to do the live feeds. I really do, because they do make money when people drop super chats and shit like that. But guys, literally last Tuesday till now, you can ask Nico. Nico, you still here? I was editing video at like fucking midnight on Saturday night so that I could have it on Sunday. Same guy also bought a Baller Ciro Stellaris of Neil Diamond's son at, Friday Night Blade Affair. I will tell you, I don't think I will go as a proxy again. Which Nico and I have done it before. But the thing is, like, if you do find something and you win it, like, you're not going to get to keep it. That's the downside. Because you're going as a proxy for someone. You're using their money. Yeah, Mark Mummert. I got into the giggle grass with Mark Mummert one time, me and Elliot. That was an evening where I spent a long night in the shop because I was unsafe to drive home. I'm like, I can't drive home. Elliot's like, I'm not fucking going anywhere. Smoking giggle grass out of a peace pipe. I didn't care. As a matter of fact, I didn't enter into any of the lotteries the next day. You can ask Nico. I didn't enter into the. I walked around and like there's only three videos from this. One, I don't know why, but it was insanely loud this year. Like, it was stupid loud this year. Kyle, you're going to see something, the very first segment of tomorrow's video. I was really impressed with these two dudes, with their concept. If they can make it work, I'm very impressed, and I want to see a functional. I got their info, they've got mine. I want to see a functional. I want to see a functional prototype of what they got, where it's like the tools and everything. So there was some new makers, but I did see something pretty inventive. It was called the Toggle Tools. I think it's the first segment of tomorrow's video. I shot there, and I was like, that is really, really cool. I'm really impressed with that, and I want to see it. As far as anything else, I didn't see anything that was that new and innovative. There's a guy named Maverick Knives that he does integrals. He had done some inlays and underlays, and his knives looked really good. He had some micarta and stuff like that. But the problem is that you're not going to get to see a lot of the really cool stuff for a couple of reasons. But Tina, I do have your knife here. I'm going to get your knife sharpened as soon as I can. Like I said, I haven't rested yet from the show. So I filmed both days. I edited one video Saturday night late, then filmed all day, then edited 2 videos today and started filming a little bit on some other stuff. So I honestly have not taken any time since Tuesday. I'm gonna probably take all day off tomorrow because I have a meeting with the Dollstrong ambassador representative. We're going to talk about the upcoming things. So you guys are going to see some sponsored videos coming up soon. No, there was nothing. Elliot wasn't even there. You would have seen Elliot in the very first fucking segment of it. Like, you would have seen Elliot before you saw Nico. You would have seen Elliot before you saw me. It would have been like, hey, look who we found. Elliot wasn't there. You would already have known. Like, you would have, if you watched today's, if Elliot had been there, you would have already seen Elliot. So, but the Maverick stuff was good. There was a guy that was making there's a couple guys that were making some new kitchen knives. But yeah, what I was saying is I'm probably just going to take tomorrow off. I'm probably going to take tomorrow off because I've got a meeting with the sponsorship rep. So we're gonna have some sponsored videos from the Dollstrong stuff that's going up, and I have some stuff that I have to film for them. So like, I'm not gonna get any time off. So if you've got stuff here for sharpening, it's Chuck just sent me some stuff for a giveaway. I got something new for the giveaway. So there's a new item for the 10,000 sub giveaway. So if you're watching this, you're not subbed, you need to sub, because 10,000 sub giveaway is coming up, and I have 2 sea snakes to give away that are the numbered ones. So I have number 2 and number 3 that are going to be good. The problem is number 3 does not have a box. We couldn't find a box for it. So I just have the knife in the sheath. We may have it by the time that rolls around, but yeah, the Melio stuff, I was told that it's not Meglio or Megalo. It's the Melio. I was like, Megalo. He's like, no, it's Melio. I was like, there's a G in there, motherfucker. You'll see that on Wednesday. That video goes up Wednesday. Kyle, how's my daughter doing? She's okay. That's the other thing. We have a lot of paperwork we have to fill out for her. We have a lot of paperwork we have to fill out for her visit to the specialist on Friday. So yeah, S35 VNC snakes. I have 2 of them. I have number 2 and number 3. Number 1's mine. No one's getting that. I've never had number 1 of a limited edition run. Not only is it a limited edition, it's a Blade Show West exclusive, or it's a Blade Show exclusive limited edition. And it's my knife, my design. So I'm like, I gotta have number 1. So yeah, the Melio stuff is good. I can't talk. Here's the thing. I told Brandon, and I talked to Ferreria Knives. Yeah, sure, it was there. So at any rate, I'm really not supposed to be filming much kitchen knife stuff, but I was like, this isn't a sponsor video and it's a knife show. So like, I didn't like, the Melio stuff is really, really good. The Melio stuff is good. The Faria, which are custom knives. You'll see all that this week. You'll see them, but yeah. Yeah, Shirogorov was there. Shiro, he doesn't speak English at all. So like you can't even talk to him. Like the person that is there to help him barely speaks English. He doesn't speak English at all. Like none. So, but like all that stuff you saw that came back from the show, I still have to shoot videos on that. So I'm gonna start shooting videos on that. I do have to say, like I said, Sanford probably gonna tell me not to send this back. They keep this thing's great though. Like I've handled the slaybacks before, but I hadn't seen a carbon fiber one. This thing's fucking awesome. It is super light. Only have one. I have a hard time with that liner because there's no layoff, no scalloping out of that area, so it's kind of a pain in the ass. So got to learn Russian. No, I'm not learning shit else. So the Atomic Pink stuff was nice. I haven't seen those in person till this weekend. The Atomic Punk stuff. So there's a lot of guys that were bitching about. I was like, that's the worst show I've ever been to. Like, there's a fucking this and that, and the custom makers. And I'm like, look, here's the thing. I'll tell you why production companies start going to this. And I told Sako this too. I was like, they need to move the California Custom Show out of the venue they're in now. It just gets getting more and more expensive. It's like $250 a night for a hotel room there, for one person, or two people. At any rate, it's like $250 a night, and you know, because you're right there at Disneyland. I'm like, oh, cool, it's Disneyland. And we're like, but anybody that knows anything knows that is the most expensive venue for a small show. That is one of the most expensive shows because you got to pay so much for lodging. And then they charge you for the venue, and then they charge you for your table. And like, so a lot of these makers are like, I'm not coming down there. And a lot of guys thought that it was going to be like this fall or the spring show where it was just one day. Like they decided they were going to do 2 shows, one in the spring and one in the fall, and split it up. And I think a lot of the makers that came to the spring show were like, well, fuck this. If it's only gonna be a one-day show, I'm not going all the way to San Diego for Friday night and have to stay Friday night and then leave Saturday because I can't afford a second night. It's still $250. If there's 2 of you, it's $500. It's ridiculous how expensive it is. And our hotel was expensive and it wasn't even good. Like it was bad. It was really, really bad. So I don't think they realize. And so a lot of those custom makers are like, at this point, why go? And then the other thing was, there's enough people now that have gotten into it that have realized that like a lot of the custom makers, that's their demographic doesn't show up at shows. Do you know who I saw? Like, I'm not trying to, there was 2 tables that were the only 2 tables. Well, 3. There were 3 tables that always had a crowd. 3. And they weren't custom makers. It was Strider, it was Monterey Bay Knives, and it was Artisan Cutlery. And you know why? Because they hit the younger demographic, the people that were going to the show. That's what they want. They want the more budget knives. Custom knife making is a dying market because they did not. I'll give you guys, we'll do it in a second, but that's why. So people are complaining, oh, it would have been great if they like the custom makers would come. I was like, well, you know, the custom makers kind of did it to themselves. The custom makers absolutely have done this to themselves. They refused to adapt to the market. So I've said it 100 times. I'm going to say it again. Hey, Winston's here. What's up, Winston? I've said it probably 100 times. You guys are going to hear this analogy again. Custom makers are like Toys R Us. So for years, Toys R Us had the toy market cornered. And then Amazon came out. And Amazon started. Yeah, I did. I saw him. I hung out at his table. I hung out with him for a little bit. Amazon came around and started selling stuff online, and they were a bookstore. And that's all they were. They were a bookstore. So it's story time with Mike. Let me explain to you the demise of the current demise of the custom knife maker. And so Toys R Us, like custom knife makers, saw this. Was like, whatever. And then Amazon started selling other things. And Walmart was like, wait a second. They're starting to eat into our market shares. Because now you can get anything you want pretty much delivered to your house. So Walmart started doing first they did in-store pickup, which they still do. Target did in-store pickup. And then they started doing like delivery to your home. Now, even, I'm not gonna lie to you, I got stuff delivered from Home Depot because I just did not want to drive. It's literally 2 blocks. Toys R Us kept saying like, who's gonna fucking, we're Toys R Us. We be toys and shit. Who's going to want to buy toys on the internet? The answer is everyone. You know why? Because I'm the guy that's like, how much can I do today before I put on pants? Like, what can I consolidate in my morning shit that's going to make my day a little easier? I'm going to do my shopping while I'm taking a shit. And so they did not adapt to the new environment. So guess who's still around? Fucking Walmart, because they adopted that early. Target, and Amazon, and there ain't a fucking Toys R Us anywhere. And it's because they did not adapt to their environment. Custom knife makers did not adapt to the new environment. They did not start coming up with a way to make their shit more affordable. They did not do what Mark Begg did. As much as it pains Todd Begg, and I love them both. I love both of the men so much. There's nothing I would not do either for Todd Begg or Mark Begg. But Todd Begg didn't want to do production knives. Mark Begg did. He saw the writing on the wall. It is absolutely a thing. What can I do to lower the price and allow people to get a knife that is of the same style? Like, people want, that's why people buy clones. As much as I hate to admit it, and much as it pains me, that's why people buy clones. It's because I will never, ever be able to afford an actual Raymond unless he makes production knives. But he's not going to, because he doesn't have to. He can sell his knives for $25,000 each. He walked into the show with 2 knives and walked out with like probably at least $50,000 for one night of work. So it's 100% custom knife makers have not adapted to the new environment. Prices of like $17,000 and $20,000, which were in the realm of sanity 10 years ago, are absolutely not in the realm of sanity. So that's why production companies and offshore companies, as much as it pains people, have taken over the market. It's just 100% why. So if you expect to see custom knife makers at the California Custom Show, there's going to be a few, but they're starting to become fewer and far between. So, Mike, over there in the shower, shopping on Amazon while awful stomping a turd down the drain, taking a Hey, bro, economy of motion. How many steps can I consolidate? Like if I'm not gonna lie, I here's an honest to God thing. If I take a shit and I'm getting ready to take a shower, I don't waste the toilet paper. I flush the toilet and jump in the shower. I'm gonna wash my ass anyway. Why waste like if you are sitting on the toilet getting ready to take a shower and you're already naked and you take a shit and you wipe your ass with toilet paper, you are a wasteful fuck. Like, someone needs to sit you down and explain economics to you. That's it. Like, if a lot of these custom makers would just take some of their designs and to a $200-$300 offering from a production company, even if I don't care where from. Like if they do offshore, onshore, I don't care. But the fact is, if they were to do that, they would do well. Because what happened with Emerson and Terzuola? Nothing happened with Emerson and Terzuola. Why does everybody seem like like somebody was like, "Yo, say their names together in the same sentence," and I was like, "What?" Like somebody was like, "Oh, did you get in a fight or something?" No, Bob was there, and I hung out with him, and he had a really good bunch of knives. And Ernie was there, and he sold a knife that had a shredded fucking washer. I don't know what, but at any rate, so fucking Bob Terzuola, prime example. Bob is 78 years old. Bob realizes that he can't make knives forever. So what Bob has done is Bob has simply decided to take a bunch of his designs and turn them into production knives at an affordable price. Who wants an 8 or 10-inch knife with antler or but who's under? I mean, I still like this. What is this? RS Bladeworks are killing it with the Mary Paragon, even through Kaiser. Yeah, it's cool. Like when you can get a custom, like Elliot went from selling fucking $700 to $1,000 knives. You can get his knife for $200-$300. They're great. And I do understand be American proud, but like I just don't understand why it only applies to knives. And then people get really, really, really bent out of shape when they're like, "Oh, fucking supporting Chinese knives." Da, 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 da. I'm like, yeah, are you commenting from an American-made computer or phone? Because I just don't get it. I don't understand why that's the hill to die on. I mean, I meant to wear this. I found 2 of these. I have 2 America shirts with eagles on them. I found them at Goodwill. They were hanging right next to each other. Yeah. Yeah. I did, and I was impressed with it. It is insane, and it's over the top, and it's everything I love about the knife community. Is like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make this shit. So it's I just like the knife community can look at things rationally in their day-to-day life, but then when you talk about knives, they're completely irrational about it. It makes no sense. Like I see it. Guess what? Kyle, watch this. Hey, you ready? You ready? Kyle is in timeout. Yeah, that's what you get, Kyle. That's what you get. Fucking shitspurt peelers. Kyle's in timeout. Yeah. One of you guys, if one of you guys want to take mercy on him, you can let him out of timeout, but he's in timeout for 5 minutes. He pulled a poly. Ethan. But yeah, I mean, I would take this 2. I think these are 2. It's marked on the thing. I think these are like 250, 230, something like that. I'd take this off a lot of. I take this over a lot of other knives. Why would I be a Padres fan from Southeast Ohio? Cleveland Indians fan. Everyone seems to forget. Like I have to do this every time I do a live feed. I am not from San Diego. The only reason I'm still in San Diego is because my kid is on a skating team here, and is probably going to go to college here. Like happy wife, happy. The same reason I am living here is the same reason Jim Skelton is leaving Texas. Happy wife, happy life. My wife wants to stay here. It's fine. We'll stay here as long as she shuts the fuck up. Like, that's it. Like, I just want to fucking happy wife, happy life. I'm not from San Diego. I didn't even know San Diego had a baseball team because, first of all the sports, I'm not. I play baseball. I played baseball all the way up until my freshman year of high school. I will not sit and watch a baseball game, except if I'm in Japan with my father-in-law. No, Jim is moving to the East Coast. Jim has lived in Texas for like 5 years, 6 years. I don't know, Steve. Get a hold of. That would be a Tim Reap question. Nice phone number. Maybe I'll tell you what. Tim and I talked about it. Tim's going to be on the show some Friday night. You can ask him that. You could just go, and I'll make sure. Like if I don't catch the comment, just keep adding it. Just keep adding it, or not trying to sound like a money grubbing asshole. If you like, honestly, because all the comments kind of blend together. If you definitely want to get a comment read, you absolutely have to do a super chat. Like, that's the only way to guarantee it. The Guardians, you fucking pig. What the fuck are you talking about? At any rate, no, I'm not a Padres fan. I'm not a baseball fan. I will watch like the high school little league thing that they do in Japan during Obon when I go to Japan with my father-in-law, watch the high school teams play. But that's it. I won't watch baseball. I'll play baseball. Like, I'll play baseball all day. Like, I've been on so many softball teams when I was active duty in the military, and I will play baseball and softball all day. Don't ask me to go watch it. It's all good until you drop a dingleberry before you can get in the shower. Guess what? I don't fucking care. I don't give a fuck what you change that. It's still the Washington Redskins and it's still the Cleveland Indians. I'm never going to stop saying it. I'm old enough and grumpy enough. I don't fucking care about what the fuck other people's opinions are about what things should be said. No. At any rate, I don't care. But then again, I don't give two fucks. I don't give two fucks about baseball. You gotta supercharge the comments to get it read. Yeah, and you get a little bit of bell. When you guys got to take that down? We can't fucking take down Polly's comment. I don't want to put him. All right, I got to put him in timeout. He's not going to stop. Can't do that. You can't do that because, like, if somebody's moderating, because the people that moderate these live feeds and read the comments and it's like, what's going on? They don't fucking read English real good. They don't understand the context, and they'll just take the feed down because they think somebody's accusing me of being racist. So you can't say it. Can't even joke about it. Like, I don't even joke about that shit. I joke about it with you, like, on the phone, Polly, but I can't do it in the fucking ACPM. Yeah. Got the Sabenza 21 back from service. Tim said that they have got the Magna Cut should be coming out. So for over a year, they've been making, grinding, and doing everything in Magna Cut. You'll see that tomorrow. It's in tomorrow's video of the show. But yeah, Tim said that the Magna Cut stuff is definitely coming. So that should mean that the Umnumzons and all that stuff is coming as well. So, but like I said, if they haven't come out by the time I get Tim on the channel, I'm going to hit him up. I'm probably going to hit him up to see if he can come on this Friday. Doom, are you leaving? All right, bro. You have a good evening. So, but yeah, it's he'll be on and we can ask him all those questions. You know who else is going to be on? Once again, another good question to ask them. Guys, I don't ask those makers those questions. I have about 2 minutes with each table. I ask them some just broad overview questions about what they're doing, what's going on with the company, and stuff like that. Melio switched to Magna Cut. So, like, I don't ask them those questions. I ask them specific. I tell them specifically, like, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna ask you what's new with the company. We're gonna talk about a couple of items on the table. Anything that you want to put out, this is the time to do it. And we got about. I tell them, I was like, I got 2 to 4 minutes to play with here, because if I do any more than that, I'm not gonna be able to. I'm not gonna be able to make it around to all the other booths, because you have to think there's an attrition. Like I said earlier, I have probably another hour and a half. Nico can tell you, I filmed all day Saturday, all day Sunday. I scrubbed so many segments that I put on a hard drive separate, because I've got to try and I'm going to have to keep trying and trying and trying to fix the audio. And it's going to be multiple things. So I'm going to have to render the audio, save it, try to fix the audio a different way, like with different tools. So I don't have enough time for them to tell me every little bit. It's not like I'm doing a full on knife review at every table. I can't. You can't. Like at a show, you got 2 minutes. If it's a big table, there's a couple tables that had a lot of stuff that I definitely wanted again. I gave them 4 minutes. Melio, Alpha Knife Supply, where they make Timascus, all that stuff, got 3 to 4 minutes. So any of those questions that you have with stuff, I was talking about this. Yeah, my wizard staff. It's an extendable. My tripod has a removable monopod that I can get as tall as me, and I can adjust it, and I can use that to get in on tables, and I keep it stable, and it doesn't have any shake. It's better than using that gimbal. It makes your arm hurt. But yeah, there's just no way to ask all the questions. But that's why I take everybody's card and I tell them, I want to try and get you on a podcast and we can talk in depth, because that's the whole point of getting you guys interested in these companies, in these makers. And then I make that connection and we come on a show. Like Jeremy Marsh. I talked with Jeremy Marsh for a good 40 minutes. We traded phone numbers. We texted back and forth. He's really good friends with Aaron Frederick as well. So it's, God damn it. And I will correct you. Florida is the armpit of America. And if you ever watch Code Blue Cams, there's a place called La Crosse, Wisconsin. So if Florida is the armpit of America, like everyone says, fucking La Crosse, Wisconsin is its rectum. And then all the little outside towns that always get mentioned, they're just right outside of La Crosse, because you'll hear them like, well, this person was seen in La Crosse, but then was arrested here. All those little outside, so every rectum has all those little wrinkly lines around it, around the rosebud, like the actual lines where it shrinks all up. All those little rivulets lead to other little towns, and they get shit in them too. It's true. So yeah, no, I'm gonna have a lot of these people. I mean, a lot of them people said they were gonna be on here, but you just can't. You can't spend that much time at each booth, because it's you're going to burn you're going to burn up space on your storage. You're not going to be able to get all of it. The audio is garbage, and like I said, you have to do short little segments, because no one wants to watch somebody talk to somebody at a booth for 10 minutes. Like if I was going to do that, each booth would get its own video, and then I would not get anything done. It's exhausting. No, absolutely not. Go watch Code Blue Cams. Go watch Code Blue Cams. And like, I'm always like flipping a coin. I was like, is it La Crosse? And if it's not La Crosse, it's someplace really close to La Crosse. So yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff at the show. I just didn't get to film. Either ran out of time. The big one that pissed me off. So I ran out of space the first day. Like I shot 2 videos worth the first day. And there was a lot of that video I couldn't use because of audio. Like I said, it's so loud in the venue. The other thing that you have to think of is space constraints. I've got people on either side of me. But the one thing that happened was I talked with a bunch of people. I was like, look, I really want to film. Like when I'm going to, as soon as I get here, I'm going to come over to your table. You're going to be here tomorrow morning, right? Like, yeah, we're going to be here. We still got stuff to sell. And so I go over to get ready to film with them the second day on Sunday, and no one's there. And I was like, well, maybe they're running late. And so there was like 4 tables that I definitely had set it up. We were going to film as soon as I showed up, that like they just never showed up. And I was like, well, that's fucked up. and I had their cards, and I was trying to call them, and no one answered and shit. So it just really that's really sucks when you had shit you wanted to film and then they left. You got any experiences with that Tracker Dan stuff? Dan's a good dude. Like, I got a chance to talk to Dan for a couple minutes outside of the venue. I caught him like in the lobby area, and he's a really, really good dude. And his table was stupid busy. That's why I didn't get a chance to film. But I hate his knives. That's what I was saying. Like, there's some people like I can just like I can be friends with him and not like I like Tom Mayo a lot. I don't like a lot of his knives. I don't find them to be something I would purchase. But like Dan's a good dude. I got to talk to him for about 10 minutes while he was taking a break. And he was like, no, we just fucking talking. I just had to get out of the venue for a little bit. And I was like, cool. His knives just aren't something I would. And John Gray makes a lot of knives. Like I love John Gray. I don't like much of John's knives. And Polly, I don't know what the record is for you being put on timeout. I think it was 3. No, there was one night where I just kept doing it for fun, but I'm not going to count that one. Like, how many times have you been put out on timeout for on an honest? Todd, that's what I was just talking about. Todd, I literally was just talking about that. I had a stack of cards. I literally just was talking about that. Not even like 45 seconds ago. I think Todd's got. Hey, Todd, by the way, thanks for joining the membership. Todd is newest paying member. You guys didn't get to see it because I logged into the live stream and then had to log back out. No clue. No clue. Maybe Knife Modders. Ask them. But like, here's the thing. I wouldn't fucking do it. I would not modify a Sebenza style, like an Nkosi or a Sebenza. I would never modify one of those to run on bearings. They're good enough. They're good enough on their own. Like I don't see any need to do it, because the problem is if you put. This is why Chris and a lot of guys and Tim, they tell people not to wrist flick. You're going to damage that stop pin. Like, if you've been wrist flicking it, like Chris Reeve would be able to tell if you'd been wrist flicking your knife, and he'd charge you extra for a spa treatment. Be like, you did this because your stop pin. So if you wrist flick your knife, it's bad for knives like that. The detent and everything on a Sebenza is not meant for that. The detent ball, the new detent ball maybe is better, but the fact is, like on the 31s, the large ceramic ball that's also your lock face. I just don't see it, like, because what's going to happen is you're going to wind up, it's going to be a flipper as opposed to what a Sebenza is. Sebenzas aren't meant to be flipped. Sebenzas are meant to be slow rolled. So I wouldn't do it. Yeah, there's some conversions out there Skiff makes, but for washers to bearings, I just wouldn't do it. I honestly can say I'm perfectly fine with the action on this. So I don't know who I would. Oh, that's cool. I don't know who I would contact to do that, because it's just not something that's in my wheelhouse of something I want. This was not meant to be like a drop shut knife. It's that super smooth hydraulic constant contact. If it's well maintained, it's really good. This thing is ridiculously sharp off those Dullstrong. I did it on the Dullstrong stones. Holy moly, did it get stupid sharp. Those Dullstrong stones don't give you a super mirror polish. They give you like a traditional Japanese waterstone finish. Even at 6,000 grit, it is not mirrored. So, Mr. Carr, we warned you to get out. Yeah. No, I just don't see that I would do it. I love this knife the way it is. Like, I wouldn't trade this. I wouldn't turn this one over for I would like to see their Magna Cut. I'd like to see their S45VN. I like S45VN. if I was going to get rid of my Sebenza, it would be for one in S45VN. So it's still a 6,000 grit edge. It just isn't a polished 6,000 grit edge. You can see it. So see how that's a 6,000 grit edge, but it's not like, it's not mirror polished like you would expect to see a 6,000 grit edge on a lot of other stones. It's a very good edge. Yeah, Patina. I'm not sure if I gotta see what steel was that one in. I don't know if I'm gonna do it on those stones. That's the issue. So, but yeah, those Dahlstrom stones give a very, very good edge. I've got to resharpen this though. I've got a spot at the very front. I think I let somebody borrow this to do something, and they handed it back to me, and the very tip of this is kind of nasty feeling and kind of looks like, I think the someone lives in this house with me. And I think what someone did was pry out some paper clips for some paperwork that needed to be separated so that we can make copies of it. And I think it's exactly what it looks like. It just feels 1, 2, 3. It just feels like somebody like used it to pry up paper clip, or I mean staples. Saw some Dahlstrom Edge Pro stones. Might need to pick them up. They're good. The stones are really, really good. I mean, I wouldn't recommend a fix. I wouldn't get an Edge Pro. I would get either that Work Sharp that has the conversion kit that Jared has, or the KME, and then get a conversion kit for that. You can get conversion kits where you can use bigger stones with KME as well. The thing with the Work Sharp is you have to do that hand dance where you got to hold the thing with one hand and then flip it to get the other, and you're sharpening it, and no one is good at that. So yeah, I mean, I get it, but are they what? No, they're grit. Go look at our website. It's listed in grit. I haven't even talked to him yet. I haven't even talked to him about it yet. I will announce it about seeing like when he can do it, if he can do it this Friday or what. But like I said some Friday. I said maybe this Friday. But every Friday is going to be 8:30. So, I'm only responsible for what I say, not what you hear. So no, it's they're all in grit. They're not. It's an Canadian owned company, so I guarantee that they're in whatever grit structure. So you have a 400, a 1000, and I have a 400, a 1000, a 6000. So do I find a difference between finished edges on diamond versus oxide stones? Yes, I do. I find the diamond edges to feel gritty, and sometimes they don't feel the way I want. Now, if I'm on a Vinev stone versus an oxide stone, there's a minor difference, but a lot of that's because Vinev stones are not done by grit. They're done on a different scale than regular stones. So 1,000 on a Vinev is not 1,000. It's different. It's closer to 3,000. So it's barely saw you because you were running around like crazy. Yeah. Paul, this is what you want to do with Spencer. Take it, and you take the washers, and you find the side that's up, the shiny side. You can do it on both sides, but you take not sandpaper, not anything like that. If you have an ultra fine super, super fine ceramic stone, like a Spyderco stone. You take that washer and you put it on the tip of your finger and you do a figure 8 on that plate and you flip it over. You do both sides of it on both of those washers, but make sure you wash them off real good. And then you put them back in and you put proper grease on them. And then you make sure that you've tightened everything up. And then you just work it a little bit. Mine is like, if you take the tension off of it, it's drop shut. Someone may have, you can actually, you're not supposed to be able to do it, but you can crank this down too far. Take it apart. I've done videos on how to take them apart, Paul. You could probably find them. 50%. My Sebenza is locking up at 50% like it was the day I got it. The lockup on this has not changed. So all you have to do, take the knife completely apart, make sure the washer is completely straight, make sure that you put it back together with the, I've done videos about it. You can see a video on how to do it. Take it apart, clean it, all that. And then you just make sure that you put the blade back in with that pivot bushing in and everything's nice and flat and you put it in. If it doesn't feel like it's going in right, don't force it. And then just put it back together. You don't even have to take the knife all the way apart. You can just take the blade out and put the blade back in the same way. So if you can't get it, maybe in a live feed sometime, I'll set it up and I'll do a top-down live feed just to show how I maintain a Sebenza. But it's like, I don't thumb flick mine, but like if you take the tension off, it's pretty much drop shut. So they break in pretty easily if you keep them greased the right way. But it could just be that like maybe it's dry, maybe the grease didn't get in on it. You know, put a little bit more of that fluorinated. Don't use oil on it. Use fluorinated grease. So use the fluorinated grease that they use. Make sure you've got a little bit of the grease on the detent ball, but make sure you don't get it in a lock face because that'll allow that. You might get some lock stick with stuff like that. So but yeah, there's a minor difference, but a lot, like I said, a lot of that is because the Vinev stones run on a different grit. 1,000 grit on a Vinev is closer to about 3,000 grit. So it's weird. But yeah, I have a tendency to like the aluminum oxide finishes a little bit better. Like I think that they just feel, the edges feel a little bit more aggressive, but you also have to temper that. You got to think to yourself like, you can't do some steels with it, or some steel you can do some steels with it. It's not as good. It doesn't cut as fast. The edge just isn't as good as you want it on some stuff. But I've done M390 20CV on aluminum oxide. It just takes a little bit longer, but you still get a really good, decent, clean edge. Oh, guys, I'm getting tired. So I may wrap this up. I'm definitely going to film some stuff. Probably not tomorrow. Like I said, I have that meeting with the company rep from Dahlstrong about sponsorship stuff. So I have to do that tomorrow. And then Wednesday, I do have to film tomorrow. Shit. I want to get enough stuff filmed that I can just take the rest of the week off. I would love that because I'm running on, as Nico said, I was running around so much he didn't even see me. I would like to take some time off before the wife and kid go to Japan. So yeah, Nico and I have a plan. I'm going to tell you guys something that's coming up. Nico and I spoke. To Oh, I forgot what I was saying. I was reading comments. Nico and I spoke with Tim Reeve about going to Boise. And he was like, yeah, and then you could just go over and film at Bill's shop over at Koenig. And I was like, well, how close are you guys? And it's like fucking 10 minutes, maybe that, if that. And I'm like, huh, okay. Do I have, okay, if you're looking for, the only discount code I have is my affiliate link with Dahlstrong. If you want to pick up their stones, I can save you 10% with my affiliate link. Other than that, my Amazon affiliate links down that are in the description of my videos. And you can use, those really don't have a discount. So I'm trying to find some discount codes. Yeah, I'm trying to find some discount codes for a couple places, but yeah, that's basically it. Dahlstrong, I've got a discount with them. And their stones are great. So if you're trying to find some stones, 10% off. And the nice thing is if you're making your first purchase, you're using my code, you get 10%. I'm not buying any more okay, Kyle, here's the thing. Like, I'm not buying any more Shaptons. That's what I was getting ready to tell you. Those stones are better than my Shaptons. Unless you're trying to get like super high grit. I'm not buying any more Shaptons. If I get anything, it's be more of those. I like those better than my Shaptons. I like those better than my Naniwas. My last couple of Naniwas have bowed. So yeah, I'm not getting any more of those when I've got those that are great, and I'll just use them till they're gone and I'll buy some more. But yeah, it's they're really good. So that's why I was saying that, is because they're cheaper, and in my opinion, they're as good, if not better, than a lot of the more expensive stones. So, yeah, I mean, but what I was saying is, if it's your first purchase, not only did you get to not only did you get the 10% off for using my affiliate link, you get 5% off for your first orders. Technically, you get 15% off. So I was wondering, because I found the Benev stones that the edges come out better than, say, DMT. DMT leaves a real. I don't like the DMT edge. I don't like DMT plates. The only thing I ever used the DMTs for were reprofiling, because I knew I was going to refine that. Even on the higher grits, I don't like the finish. I don't like the way the edge feels. Even like when guys do those super high polished edges on like a Wicked Edge with the DMT stones, or a Benev, or not Benev, but a KME. I don't like those edges. I don't like the way they feel. They don't, like, they feel sharp, but they don't feel like they cut. And then in the lower grits, they feel too aggressive. Like, they feel like gritty. Like they're gonna, and the thing is too, like, they're so aggressive that you wind up still with really deep pits, and then it's easier for them to chip off. I found that the DMT edges have a tendency to chip a little bit more. It's a softer, you get the same amount of aggressiveness in cut on an aluminum oxide, but you don't get quite the amount of edge chipping, the micro chipping, just because I think that the striations are not as deep and aggressive. Even though it's still aggressive and deep, it's not like as deeply channeled. You know what I mean? So there's not as much material holding those points on. It just feels. I really don't need any stones. I love my Benev, but I'm waiting. Mine's about 1/8 of an inch from touching the other scale, and it's been that way since I got it brand new. Yeah, they are always. So, like, look here. Let me do it again. Let me turn the. Right there, like about 50%. And that's the way it was when it came. And this probably has had more pocket time and use than almost any other knife in my collection. So I don't see it. I don't see it being an issue. Let's get that. Let's get that turned back on. I don't like it looking like there's just a sheet hanging behind me. So, nope. 40. There we go. So, yeah, I've never seen one that works its way over. Especially now, I would say, especially now if you got a newer one, because it has that big ceramic ball in there. I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that kicking over. You're not gonna get you're not going to get too much. You're not going to get any marring or deformation of the lock face, because there's a great big ceramic ball in there that's your detent and your lock face. So I love my Spenza. So anybody got anything? Anybody got any other questions? So I still have to take a shower. I took a shower. Okay, so I took a shower when I got back from the show. I put this shirt on, and I did all the editing until late last night, so that we had stuff going up today and tomorrow and the next day. So, I haven't taken a shower yet. I gotta take a shower when we get done. Like, Mike, I got a good deal from a local glass company for a new piece of float. I picked it up this week. Kind of excited. Yeah. Are you putting it on your workbench so you can flatten stones on it? Dare I say that Noseman is going to be the remaining champ of the pocket going forward. Mine winds up being the reigning champ of the waistband, but yeah, it's always on me somewhere. I walk around a show with this, and everybody's like, "You really do carry that everywhere?" I was like, "Goddamn right I do." I had other shit in my pockets, but this is currently, I don't have a knife. Even that, I don't think I carried this as much as I carry this, because even like I carried this a lot, but I didn't carry it like every fucking day. Like, this is always in my pocket or waistband. I don't even count, like when I count knives and I'm carrying, I don't even count this, because if it's not in my pocket, it's in the waistband of my jeans. If it's not in the pocket of my shorts, it's in the waistband of my shorts, all that stuff. So it's going right back in my waistband, because currently this is in my pocket and I'm wearing track pants. I have the tempered top off of an old coffee table that sits on my workbench. And the other thing too is my workbench is wood, and it's nice because I can get nasty garbage and crap all over it and then just wipe it off. So it's nice to have on a workbench. So yeah, this is in my pocket for right now. Not impressed with the Chris Reeve knives because of my Incosi almost 600, and that knife I can't even hardly open the damn thing. It's okay. A lot of people will get a Spenza and they're not impressed. A lot of times it's because people are trying to push straight out. Like, you're trying to push out. That's not how you do it. You want to push. You want to put your finger here and push up. Just push your finger there. Push straight up. I'm not even really using the thumb stud. Oh, it makes my thumbs. I'm not really using the thumb stud. I'm pushing, like I put my finger on, I push up. Mine has every bit the tension that it had the day I got it. You push. If you try to push out, it doesn't work. You put your thumb on it right here and push up. Like, just push up and it rolls it out. Almost no effort. And then once it breaks the detent, my finger's not really on I'm not really touching the thumb stud. My thumb's on the blade. But a lot of people get that. Like, they'll get a Spenza and they're like, I don't understand it. And then they'll have it for a little while and they're like, okay, now I get it. Now I get it. You get it expecting it to be, you get a $600 knife and you're expecting it to be like this. And it's not. It was never designed to be that. But what it has going for it is the fact that this knife has outlived so many other knives that if I used them as much as I use this, they would have never. I already talked to him about polishing washers. And Paul, you can always reach out. I have no problem doing a spot treatment on an Umnums. Like, if you have an Incosi or an Umnums on or something like that, and you want me to take a look at the polish, you can always reach out to me. It's just going to take a while. You can always send it to me, and I can polish the washers. I've done it. I did polish washers for a couple other people. Nico, did I polish the washers on yours? So it's not late, Paul. That's not late lockup. They are all like that. Every one of them is at least 50%. That's just how they designed the knife. The lockup on a Sebenza is going to always be at about 50%. Every one of them on every Chris Reeve knives. That's how Chris designed it. Because the lock face is relatively flat, and it gets more of the lock bar purchase and touching. You're gonna find, like, if you're looking at late lockup, that's not late lockup. That's Chris Reeves knock. That's CRK knives. Is $800 a fair price for a Norseman? That's less than I paid for mine. But I had something specific. I'm just out, like, it's late lockup on a Sebenza would be is if it's all the way over. Like, that's late lockup. If you just only had like a paper thin margin, it's just gonna be 50% ish. So, yeah, and I mean, I've never had it even shift at all. But I can always, if you want, I can always, like, you send it to me before you up and just decide to get rid of it, because, like, if you are having problems, if you're having problems with that one, buying one in MagnaCut is not going to solve your problems. You're having problems with it because that's the way it was designed and that's the way it was built. It may just be that you don't want a Chris Reeve knife, but I can always, if you want, I can polish those washers for you, and you can see if you feel a difference. If you feel a difference in it, it might be something that, like, you're just going to get used to it. But they take a while to break in, and, like, polishing those washers can do a lot for it. So, is it? Well, don't forget, they changed. Okay, Paul, they changed. Mine is just a flat piece of titanium. Yours has a ceramic ball in it, and that ball does sit differently in there, but it's never going to change. Like, that ball will never wear out. So, I mean, you can send it to me. I can do the washers, and I can look at it and see if it looks like it's screwed up. Then I'll tell you. And the nice thing is, if you reach out to CRK, they absolutely will take care of whatever's wrong with it. I made a complaint. I complained about one of these knives in a video about the fact that my grind was a little tiny bit off. And Tim was like, bro, if you give me that knife, if you send me that knife, because Tim and I are friends, he's like, if you send me that knife, we'll get you a new blade put in it. And I was like, no, at this point, like, I've got it broke in and I don't even notice it anymore. But there was a minor misgrind with this knife. So, yeah, if there is an issue, and I can tell you whether I think there is or not. So, like I said, send it to me. We can look at it. I don't charge very much to polish the washers. I think I do it for the same price as sharpening a knife. So, yeah, but $800 for $800 for a Norseman's great, because I definitely paid after shipping and handling and sales tax. I think I was into this for 12. But I had a specifically what I wanted. I knew exactly what I wanted. It was harder to find because there aren't as many of them. I had a specific pattern. I wanted the reverse honeycomb. They don't make as many of those as the other patterns. So I'd like to get a Herman Dragonfly in M398. Dude said he was on a list for 5 years before he got one. So yeah, get it, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they do the waiting list stuff anymore so much. In the past, they used to. They're making a lot more. They're on, like, number 6,000 and shit now. So I think Nico Cities. Nico, you getting one of these? So, any rate, yeah, guys. Paul, my email address is in the description of most of my videos. So, you can also DM me on Instagram, and I will eventually get to it. So, guys, if you're a paying member, I'm probably going to post up I got some puttering around to do here in the shop. I will probably post up a video. If you can't join fully, you might not be able to hear the audio. Like if you can't bring your camera up, you might not be able to hear the audio. So, but yeah, I'm going to do movie night with the paying members, and I've got some puttering around to do. I got to charge these lights. They are almost dead. I'm surprised they made it this far into the live feed. I did not charge them after filming all week, and then I was gone, and I broke them out, and I'm like, ooh, let's turn the brightness on those down a little bit. So, guys, like I said, paying members, look for a link to a movie night. We might watch a UFC or something. So, but I still have some stuff I have to do around the studio here. Take care of a couple things. So, guys, I'm just gonna end it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I got there's 2 more videos of California Custom Show. One goes up tomorrow. One goes up Wednesday. I've got to get a hold of. I got to film all this stuff that came back. I'm going to do just a video that has all the knives that came back from the California Custom Show in it, and then I will do a video per each one, just looking at them, describing them and stuff like that. I'm going to talk to Tim. I'm going to talk to Jeremy Marsh, and I'm going to try and get them on the channel. So if you guys have questions about any of the Chris Reeves stuff or any of Jeremy Marsh's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful custom knives, you'll be able to ask them. There's a handful of other people. I'm trying to try and get Aaron Frederick come back on the show again. So how much for the spa treatment? Paul, I said like $25. It's like for that's not a spa treatment on a Sebenza with a polish on the washers is about $25. That's not counting sharpening though. Sharpening separate, because that's the cost of sharpening. Cost of sharpening is $25. If you want to do the full spot, like a spa treatment on a regular knife, if I'm just cleaning it up and relubing it and stuff like that, it's like $5-10. Depends on the knife, how difficult it is, or requires proprietary hardware or something like that. But if I have to do a polish on the washers, because it's a matter of take it apart, polish the washers a little bit, put a drop of oil on them or a drop of grease on them, put it back in, see if it's smooth, make sure you haven't gone, like make sure everything still feels right, take them back out, polish them a little bit more, put them back in, and then you're like, oh yeah, there you go. And then you got to take it apart, clean everything, and then relube it and put it back together. It's time consuming, and that's why it's more expensive. So, but they are a lot better after. It takes that break-in period that you normally would expect on a Sebenza or an Umnumzan or an Inkosi. It takes that from like a few months of fucking with it to send it to Mike, get it back. Like a couple days later, it feels smooth as you want it. And like I said, it could be a matter that it's a little dry. Maybe it got not enough lubrication on it properly. Maybe there was enough lubrication on the pivot bushing and stuff like that. So it's just a matter of like just taking some time to do it. They do a really good job at the shop. They can't give every knife the attention that somebody like me can. That's not like they have to do so many knives. You send me a knife in for a spa treatment, yours is the only knife I'm working on. See what I'm saying? So it's just a little difference. So guys, yeah, Nico, are you gonna do a movie night or you gotta go? I'm gonna do movie night for a little bit anyway. Maybe not movie night. Maybe we'll watch a TV show, a couple episodes. So at any rate, guys, I love you all. Thanks for hanging out. If you didn't drop a like already, you're an asshole. Just kidding. If you didn't drop a like, drop one on your way out. And I will see you guys later. I gotta go.